Hello! And here it is, the final figure from the Star Wars Black Wave 5 6-inch figures. And it is a Sandtrooper. This is our third Stormtrooper that we've seen released in this line. The other one being a regular Stormtrooper, and then of course the first one being another Sandtrooper. It'll be interesting to see where the differences lie between this one and the original Sandtrooper that was released. But in these, we've seen a lot of repaints, so I imagine it's going to be very much of the same thing. As far as the box goes, we have, again, a wonderful image in the top right-hand corner. We have the blue Death Star lighting and the blue text, like we have seen with the other Wave 5 figures. And then the text on the back. Let's get that to focus. There we go. Sandtroopers search Tatooine for R2-D2 and C-3PO, who escaped from a rebel ship with the plans to the Death Star. The troopers encounter the two droids in Mos Eisley, but a Jedi mind trick fools them into letting the droids go. These aren't the droids we're looking for. So, like all of the reviews, let's go ahead and see what this one looks like out of the package. Before we see him fully out of the package, I just want to note one thing, just something that's a little different than what we have seen. He's actually posed almost with this gun as though he's holding it at his side, which is a little different from the way that we've seen him packaged. He does come with a lot of guns. But yeah, let's see what he actually looks like fully out of the package. And here he is out of the package. So, again, same level of articulation that we've come to expect from the Star Wars Black series. I'm not going to run you through articulation just because I honestly don't know the name of all the articulation, so I don't want to mess it up. He is the exact same sculpt, as far as I can tell, as the earlier Sandtrooper. The glaring difference being the shoulder pauldron being black instead of orange. I know that denotes rank. I don't know if the black one's the captain or the orange one's the captain. I think the orange one's the captain, but I might be wrong. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But nice weathering, again, on the paint. You can see how dirty he is. So we've seen a lot of great paint weathering on these trooper figures. Obviously not on the regular Stormtrooper, which you can really get a glimpse of the color difference there. Just how dirty this guy is just by comparison with a regular plain Jane Stormtrooper. So, and you can see it's a different sculpt. There is no, we have our detonator on the back of the standard Stormtrooper. Of course, there's no detonator on the back here, which is because of the backpack, which we'll show you shortly. But that's just a good idea of what the difference is. You can see, though, and what I really like is that the regular Stormtrooper and the Sandtrooper are different sculpts. At least their torsos are. No, they're pretty much different sculpts overall. So it's nice to see that variation. However, this Sandtrooper is pretty much exactly like the Sandtrooper that we've already seen, with the exception of the pauldron color. If you look at the helmet, the weathering's different, which is great. It just shows how well, how much attention to detail they have when they do the weathering. I almost think that they just decided, instead of doing a repack like they've done with a bunch of the figures, including Boba Fett, instead of just doing a repack with this one, they gave us something else. So it's for people that didn't get a Sandtrooper the first time around, get one, and people that are army builders get a slight variation. And I will say that I am excited about having a bunch of different Stormtroopers on the shelf that look different. So let's look at his accessories. He comes with 3 guns. This is the same rifle that was included with the original Sandtrooper. Again, for comparison, the original Sandtrooper one is black with a little bit of silver paintwork. This one has a lot more silver paintwork. It's a lot more weathered. There's a lot more paint application on this. So I guess when you don't have to worry about sculpting the gun because it's already there, you can spend more time on the paint. So it's a pretty big honking gun. It does have a tripod look to the front, but that tripod doesn't move, or bipod, you know. So it doesn't move. So just a big static piece of plastic. We have another gun, which I believe is the first time we've seen this one. It's got a hard plastic strap, so you can slot it over his shoulder, and it kind of tucks in right in that shoulder joint. Of course, when he's wearing the backpack, that probably won't work, but we'll see here in just a second. And then we have our regular, everyday, typical Stormtrooper blaster. Again, it has the sculpted fold-out stock, but it doesn't fold out. Finally, last but not least, is the backpack. This is the exact same backpack that we saw with the other Sandtrooper release. So nothing new there, which means that the thing that aggravated me the most about the other Sandtrooper is probably going to aggravate me about this one too, which is I can never get this part of the backpack to look like it's laying down naturally. It just always wants to pop up. So that's what drove me crazy. The backpack mounts just with a peg in the back, you know, G.I. Joe style. So, and it mounts up. It's good and tight. It doesn't feel like it wants to fall out. Of course, there it just fell out. So I didn't have it in all the way. It doesn't feel like it wants to fall out. It does kind of weight him to the back. So when you pose him, you're either going to have to use a stand, lean him against something, or you're going to have him bent forward like the backpack's full of rocks. Ooh, it's so heavy. So let's test with the rifle and see if we can sling it over his shoulder. No. It kind of goes, but I think it makes him look a little busy. So I'll have to figure out a better way to pose him than using that. I have to leave that one off display. But, of course, we've got the extended trigger finger on the hand, which is what we've seen with the other Trooper figures, so it's real easy to put the gun in and have him look like he's holding it. So, all in all, happy to have another Stormtrooper in the collection. A little disappointed that there's not more variation in the figure. Basically, we get a different colored pauldron and we get a new blaster. But it is what it is. It's just a repaint of one that already came out, so we shouldn't expect too much variation. It's nice for them to, again, re-release a figure, and instead of just doing a repack, they actually made a little bit of a change here and there just to be more enticing to collectors. Of course, again, they're just hedging their bets so that people who don't have the Sandtrooper will buy them, and people that want another Sandtrooper will buy them. So, way to go, Hasbro. But, overall, another excellent figure in the Star Wars Black line. I don't know if you can see my Star Wars Black figures on display in various places. So I'm just happy to have another figure to add to the collection. And there we go. But overall, if you're not an army builder or you don't want multiple Sandtroopers and you already have one, there is zero reason for you to buy this. So save your money. However, if you missed the Sandtrooper the first time around, this is a great opportunity to pick one up without paying the secondary market premium. And you're not really missing out on anything. You actually get the extra blaster on this one, so much better. There you go. Thanks, and keep an eye out for more videos from Fourth Guy in Line.